You have big dreams of losing weight and creating a healthy, joyful life. But you find yourself craving sugar, caught up in what the scale says, and diet hopping. Dieting is the old way of losing weight. And the good news is I'm going to give you a new way of eating so you can ditch diets for good and build a healthy relationship with real food. My name is Megan Olson, certified nutrition practitioner, creator of Skinny Fitalicious, and your host of the Dish on Diets show. I've been thinking a lot about what I was thinking when I was 215 pounds, and what I was thinking was normal to lose weight, because I always thought, like, if I could just exercise 7 days a week for 30 days, I could lose weight. Or if I could just eat one meal a day, I could lose weight. Or if I could just eat carrots and cantaloupe and lose weight, then I could just go back to eating like normal. True fact, I did that carrot and cantaloupe thing once. But I always thought these things when I was 215 pounds, but never once did it cross my mind that that was really weird. That I thought that was normal to do those things to lose weight. It was really unhealthy and kind of disordered to think I should skip meals and only eat carrots and cantaloupe until I lost weight. Essentially, I was looking for ways to starve myself. And when I was 215 pounds, I thought that was just totally normal. I thought that was how you were supposed to lose weight. And if I thought this way at 215 pounds, I'm guessing you think this way too about weight loss. I mean, the goal of losing weight is to get healthier, right? Fitter, stronger, get leaner. How does it make sense to think that the way to getting healthier, fitter, and stronger is skipping meals and not prioritizing feeding my body nutrients and starving myself and only eating carrots and cantaloupe and eating as little as possible to get healthier, fitter, stronger, and leaner? I should insanely starve myself. It makes no sense at all. No one who lives a healthy lifestyle does any of that. You see, when you're so focused on just losing weight and just the scale and the fact that you're so out of control with certain foods, and here's the specific foods that you struggle with, that you just have no control with, or you don't like how your body looks and feels, or how your clothes fit, or you don't want to be fat anymore, you don't see how weird and disordered, like, what you're thinking about food and diet and exercise and weight loss. You don't see how disordered what you're thinking and doing really is. You don't see that how you look at losing weight and improving your health doesn't make any sense. And diets you see and have done throughout the course of your life fuel this thinking. Cutting out rice and potatoes and oatmeal, some of the healthiest foods we can eat to improve our health and add nutrients to our diet. There are so many women who think it is normal to demonize certain foods and cut them out, but that is not health. That is disordered dieting. And this used to be me, so no shame if this is you at all. I didn't recognize it at the time, and maybe you don't either. When we are in that uncomfortable, desperate place, we don't question, like, hey, does it make sense for me to follow this diet or do this thing if I'm trying to get healthier and fitter? Nope. We never do that, because when we're in it, we can't see it. And that is how deeply ingrained diet culture, social media, misinformation, and all of these crazy diets that you have been exposed to have messed you up. It messes up how you think about getting healthier. It's not just about losing weight or the scale. It's about getting healthy. I think we miss that key distinction on a weight loss journey. A weight loss journey is figuring out how to better care for your health. And I never realized this until one day I decided to stop dieting, because I was like, that stuff doesn't work. I can't stick with it. It doesn't work. Anything I lose just comes back because I can't stick with that. And now when I look back on all of that, I'm like, wow, I was really doing weird things, and none of it was healthy, and nobody told me. Like one time, my mom went on the carrot diet, lost a ton of weight. All she did was eat carrots for months, and her skin turned orange. And everybody congratulated her. Oh, you look great. You lost so much weight. But she couldn't keep eating carrots. And then what ended up happening is she regained all of her weight and even more on top of that. And I was a teenager when she did that. So in my mind, I just thought that was what people were supposed to do to lose weight. I thought that was normal, but it is not normal. It's actually disordered dieting. The other day, I posted a video on my social media about this topic, and somebody commented, just eat anchovies and then you won't want to eat anymore. Essentially, eat until you're so sick of the thing you're eating that you won't want to eat. That's not normal. The thing is, this is what everybody does. Don't be everybody. You're looking for the easy way to lose weight, and you're not changing your behavior. And this is the hard part. Your behavior has to change. How you're living your life has to change, not dramatically. It's not just how do I lose weight? How do I manipulate the scale to go down? Sure, you can lose weight eating anchovies, but you get so sick and grossed out from eating that food. So what? You'll lose a few pounds and then what? You just gain it back and you're back to the original problem all over again. You're not actually changing. And trust me, I used to do all this kind of stuff all the time. I talk all the time about how, this one time I tried to eat carrots and cantaloupe. I mean, how stupid. Like, nobody can do that. And it's not how healthy people live or what healthy people do. You go on a weight loss journey to get healthier. Anchovies, carrots, and cantaloupe ain't it. Changing your behavior is. It's not changing your entire life and flipping your life upside down. You're still living in extreme restriction diet land if that's what you immediately think when I say that. The perfect example I can give you is of changing behavior is the chair to chair lifestyle. That's what I call it. Most people are living this chair to chair lifestyle where they go from their bed to their car to commute to work, or they go to the breakfast table or to the couch or to the recliner, and then they move to the office chair, and then they move to their lunch chair, and then they move back to their office chair, and then back to their car, back to the dining room table chair, back to the couch, back to the bed. You're living the chair to chair lifestyle, and you're wondering, oh my gosh, why am I getting fat? And if you look over the course of your life, you're probably living the chair to chair lifestyle way more than when you were 20 or in your early 30s, because 20, 30, 40 years ago, you were just a lot more active. And body fat is just extra stored energy. So if you're moving very little and you have not been moving as much when you were 20 or in your early 30s, you're not using as much energy. So your body's just storing it. It's not uncommon for me to see clients who like really only have 1,500 steps a day. That's very, very sedentary. We don't solve the problem of having extra stored energy and getting healthier with anchovies. We solve it by moving more to use that stored energy. And we change the behavior from the chair to chair lifestyle long term so that extra body fat, which is just extra stored energy, it never comes back. How does anchovies fix that? How does carrots and cantaloupe fix that? It doesn't. But most women want to avoid behavior change. So they're like, I'll just eat anchovies because I'm fat and I don't like that I'm fat right now. I want to be unfat as quickly as possible. So let me go do some diet, like just eating anchovies so I can get unfat as fast as possible. But then you can't stick with the anchovy diet because it doesn't fit in with your normal lifestyle. What happens when your coworkers want to go to lunch? Or what happens when you go on vacation? It doesn't work, right? Because it doesn't work to be on such a strict diet, and healthy people don't live their lives that way. So then you stop the strict diet, and then you're back at square one, and you're like living your life like in a big circle I call it the oh crap cycle. You're living in your regular life, and what happens? You're gaining weight because that lifestyle, your lifestyle currently is contributing to weight gain. And then you have your oh crap moment. Something triggers you where you go, oh crap, I gained weight. Sometimes it's a number on the scale. Sometimes it's how your clothes are fitting. Sometimes it's how you ate on vacation or the holidays and you go, oh crap, I've gained weight. I got to do something about this. I need to lose weight. I got to go on a diet, which to you means I need to massively restrict food. I need to solve this problem right now. I'm fat now. I don't want to be fat now. I need to change this really fast. I want to be unfat right now. What is the absolute fastest way I can get this fat off my body? So then you go on a restrictive diet like the anchovy diet. And then what happens? Because it's super restrictive and unsustainable, you get frustrated, annoyed, or something happens, or you get into a situation where you can't follow those rules. You're on keto or Whole30 or whatever diet and traveling and realizing you can't do that and enjoy yourself while sticking to this strict diet. So then what do? You stop the diet and then you go back to your default lifestyle that created the weight gain in the first place. You see, women tend to miss this entire oh crap pattern of their default lifestyle. Weight gain, oh crap, restriction, solve everything now, diet, frustration, stop diet, back to default lifestyle, gain weight, oh crap, restriction, solve everything now, diet, frustration, stop diet. It's a cycle that keeps repeating. And meanwhile, a person's weight zigzags up and up and up and up and up, up, even though they've lost weight many times doing those kinds of diets, because restrictive dieting actually becomes part of your lifestyle. If you want to become healthy, fitter, stronger, and leaner, you must stop restrictive dieting because that is part of the problem contributing to your weight problem. You must get rid of that pattern, the oh crap pattern. Your default lifestyle plus the oh crap restrictive dieting pattern are both keeping you stuck at the same weight. And that was me at 215 pounds. I was always looking for the shortcut so I didn't have to change. Whatever I had to do to avoid changing how I was living my life, that was contributing to my weight problem. I didn't want to exercise. To me, that sounded miserable. So instead, I would do like the supplements. I'd always buy like the latest and greatest supplements that I would see on TV, or I'd buy like the exercise DVDs with the meal plan that was like, oh, you're going to lose 10 pounds in a month. I always bought all of that stuff because I didn't want to be fat. I wanted to be unfat right now as quickly as possible. And I was avoiding change and I was living the chair to chair lifestyle until one day I realized like this restrictive, crazy stuff doesn't work. And that's when I just was like, you know what? I'm just going to walk every day. I'm just going to do like a 10-minute walk every single day. And that's all I do. I didn't change anything else for a very long time. And now today, 15 years later, I get 10,000 steps a day, some from walking and some from just moving more intentionally around my house. But if I had started on day one, when I was 215 pounds, trying to get 10,000 steps every single day, I wouldn't have lasted more than a week. And that's what so many of you are doing. Many women are in this extreme thinking. So you go from no steps to 10,000 steps in one day and wonder why you can't sustain it. Because that's not how habits for life are created. That's not how you change your lifestyle. Diets, though, that you've done have taught you to live in extreme land with exercise and nutrition. So in your mind, you don't want to be fat anymore. So why would you wait to get 10,000 steps? So you're like crash dieting with steps. You go right into that extreme thinking. People do this every January because they don't like how their body feels and they don't like what they ate in December, but that's not normal. It's not how you become somebody who's healthier and fitter. The crazy thing is it takes less time in the long run when you work on small, gradual, sustainable, incremental changes over time to your habits and you pull up your patience pants because you can't Amazon Prime this stuff. And it takes less time doing that slow approach versus like being in this oh crap cycle your entire life and trying to force yourself to eat anchovies or carrots and cantaloupe like I did and driving yourself crazy with food rules and on and off and what's wrong with me? My body's broken. You know, when I was 80 pounds overweight at 215 pounds and struggling with my relationship with food, I always imagined that people who were healthy and fit, who went to the gym regularly and who liked to exercise and who meal prepped and prioritized eating nutrient dense foods and regulated themselves mindfully more around calorically dense foods, I always imagined those people must be living rigid, strict lives. They were super boxed in, super rigid, super extreme. They had no flexibility, no fun. And that is how I always thought. Boy, was I wrong. I was thinking the way that an extreme dieter thinks because that's what diets taught me. That's what my mom taught me when she did the carrot diet. When you think like an extreme dieter, you think that the way to get healthier is to be super strict and extreme, except that's just the way you've always dieted. That's what diets have taught you. And so that's what you think a healthy lifestyle is now. But that's not what a healthy lifestyle is. A healthy lifestyle is not being super strict and rigid and perfect and having all these rules. Living in the extreme is not sustainable. Nobody can live in the extreme until they're 85 plus years old to keep weight off and to stay healthy. That's not a you problem. That's a nobody does that problem. But when you're trying to lose weight, that's what you try to do. That's how you try to approach this. But that doesn't work long term. So when I did the carrot and cantaloupe diet, you know, so when I did that carrots and cantaloupe diet, and another time I did a shake diet where I ate only one meal a day and drank two shakes, that didn't work for very long. You want to know why? Because I was drinking alcohol like crazy, eating an entire large Domino's pizza every Friday night. I was living in extreme diet land, and I was still thinking, this is what it takes to lose weight. Except that's not somebody who actually improves their health. That is someone who still thinks like an extreme dieter. You still think about this stuff in extremes. I'm either all in or I'm all out. That's not how healthy and fit people live their lives. That's not what's going to keep you consistent with taking care of your health and taking care of, aging well and getting fitter and stronger and staying fitter and stronger as you age throughout the rest of your life. Because like the whole purpose of going on a weight loss journey is to get healthy, right? Finding balance, developing new routines, learning to allow yourself flexibility, changing your default lifestyle. That's what diets aren't teaching you. And that's exactly what you need to lose weight and have results that you keep forever. And when you think about it, diets and diet culture have really messed women up and taken them so far away from what a healthy and balanced lifestyle looks like. One of my clients, I talked about this in the last podcast episode. She was doing Optavia prior to working with me, and she stopped doing Optavia because she felt like something was wrong when they told her not to exercise while she was on their program. And she was like, well, why would they tell me not to exercise? I'm trying to get healthier. So she stopped doing Optavia, but she kept eating that same way and started just counting her calories in MyFitnessPal. And she was eating around 1,400 calories. She was starving and her weight wasn't budging, which led her to me. And you know why her weight wasn't budging? Because she was trying to eat in 1,000 calorie deficit. Her maintenance was 2,400 calories, and she was still trying to count calories and eat what Optavia told her, which was around 1,400 calories. 1,400 calories, sure, it's a deficit for her, but it's a starvation level calorie deficit. When you are in such a steep calorie deficit, you can't be compliant with such a low calorie deficit for very long. So you eat at those numbers for a few days, and then your body reacts and says, I'm really, really hungry. So your physiology kicks in, and then you overshoot and eat more. And so on average, you're just staying at maintenance. she couldn't be compliant with such a low calorie deficit. So her weight wasn't budging because she was getting so hungry and couldn't be compliant. We brought her calories up to 1900 and she lost body fat beautifully. Another client did Weight Watchers over and over and over, and her weight wasn't budging. She tracked her calories and she learned that her points were equivalent to about 1500 calories, but she was starving and her weight wasn't budging, which again led her to me. Her and I began working together 4 months ago. Now she's losing fat at 2,400 calories. Her maintenance is 2,900 calories, guys. She is happy, content, full, losing fat, and she can't believe it. She can't believe she was trying to eat in a 1,400 calorie deficit. Like, that's not normal. You see, these diets, like these traditional diets like Optavia, Weight Watchers, all the stuff that we've grown up with, ladies, they are starving women. They put you on the least amount of food so that in your mind you think it works the first time you do it because you get really fast results. And it's great because you're getting fast results, and our brains love that. Because when you think it works and it's great, guess what? You're going to keep going back to them because you don't want to be fat anymore. You get into that old crap cycle and you gain the weight back, because when you come out of a steep deficit, like when you're on one of those diets and you come out of a steep deficit, your body's going to throw up a lot more hunger than if you were just in a moderate calorie deficit. Your body doesn't overreact that way, right? So you come out of these deficits and you lose your weight, you start to regain it back because your body starts to throw up all this hunger. Just not a smart approach, right? And so then you gain the weight back, but in your mind, you're like, well, that was great. I lost weight really fast and now I'm fat again. I don't want to be fat anymore. And so you want to be unfat right now, this second. And so Optavia and Weight Watchers are like, come on back. And then you go back. They know what they're doing. Their goal is to profit off of you regaining weight over and over and coming back over and over again. Steep deficits always cause more hunger. It's a slingshot. So your body, you feed it too little. Your body is going to, like a slingshot, pull back, and then it's going to shoot forward and overcompensate with more hunger signals. So you will always end up eating way more than if you just had eaten like normal. The first time you lose weight in a steep deficit, your body might be fine, but your body and your metabolism has memory. So then when you go back, your body's like, nope, not doing this starvation level calorie deficit again. Nope, not having it. So your body starts to throw up way more hunger signals to fight back, which is why being at a higher end of your calorie deficit is a smarter approach. And this is a blind spot a lot of women have. I talk about blind spots that women have in their weight loss journeys in my weight loss blind spots workshop. That's a DIY workshop you can do on your own 3-part video series. The link is in the show notes if you want to go check that out. Both of these clients, when they started working with me, they both swore something was wrong with them, that they could not starve their bodies. But they didn't realize that what they were doing was such steep calorie deficits. They both thought legitimately that their bodies were broken, their metabolism was broken, it was their age, it was their hormones, something was wrong with their bodies, that they just could not eat this little and lose weight. Why couldn't I just be compliant with me? They were internalizing this, thinking it was a failure somehow on their part that they couldn't be compliant with such a steep calorie deficit level. And neither of them recognized this until they started coaching. I mean, I could tell you 100 more client stories just like these two where it was the same thing. And this is what I want you to hear and understand, ladies, today. We have been so conditioned to think about losing weight in such a crazy way. We think all of that is normal. All that extreme stuff we think is normal. It's not normal. And I was once right where you are. So I want you to really consider what I'm telling you today before you start the next sugar challenge, detox program, do Whole30 again, sign up for Weight Watchers, Optavia, or calorie count for the millionth time. Is what you are doing helping you improve your health long term, or is it just a short term fix? Are you thinking the way that a healthy person thinks, or are you thinking like an extreme dieter, the anchovies diet? Are you thinking what I thought was normal for losing weight when I was 215 pounds. The way you get to a place of peace is by accepting that restrictive dieting must stop to help to reach your goals, and that your default lifestyle has to change. You don't have to gradually like overhaul your diet and tell your family they all have to change because you need to lose weight. No, that's still thinking like an extreme dieter. But it's kind of like the chair to chair lifestyle. You're going to have to make some tweaks to your lifestyle that probably hasn't been there for the last 20, 30, 40 years. And gradually and incrementally, if you make some of those tweaks over time, remember, we're not going to go from 1,500 steps to 10,000 overnight. That's not realistic, right? You've got to make small, gradual changes to increase your movement, and other habits. It's the same thing, right? Small, gradual, incremental things over time, right? So those are the things you really need to do. And when you keep going into that oh crap and restrictive extreme diet cycle, you're just avoiding doing all of that. And I want you to know, if you've just kind of realizing as you're listening to this today that this is how you have been thinking about all this stuff, just like I did when I was 215 pounds, just know you're normal, because we have all been conditioned to think about it this way. And think about all the crazy things our parents did. Look at what my mom did. She was on this carrot diet. That's not normal. Like, what was she setting for me as an example? Like, it's crazy, but that's part of why I thought that was how you were supposed to lose weight. So just know you can get to this place, and I can help you get to this place. I can show you a reasonable way and a reasonable approach to helping you reach your goals, and you're not going to fail. You're not going to go on a diet. I think sometimes when people sign up for coaching, immediately your brain goes restriction, right? That's your extreme dieter's brain still going into like, okay, now it's time to cut things out. Okay, now it's time to buckle down and be good and be strict. No, that's not what we're doing. We're building habits that add to your life, that make you feel better, right? And long term, it's going to set you up for so much more success to not only lose fat and get healthier, fitter, and stronger as you age, but to keep that fat off as you age and feel good and continue getting stronger and showing up for yourself as you progress throughout the course of your life. So if you want help, schedule a quick 30-minute consultation with me, and I'll tell you how I can help you. The link is in the show notes. I also want to mention that the month of January, I'm doing something a little different. I'm trialing something out. In the past, I used to require a 6-month commitment, and I'm not going to do that for this month. I'm just going to see how it goes. I'm not sure how long I'm going to do this. If you're somebody who's been on the sidelines because you're not sure if you want to like really make that 6-month commitment, I am allowing for this month for people to sign up with a month-to-month basis. And of course, I still have the 6-month. If you make the 6-month commitment, you do get a discount when you do that. If you want to talk about it, schedule a consultation with me, or if you're ready to dive in and you know I'm the coach for you, you can sign up. Both links are in the show notes. Ladies, I hope you have a wonderful January. I'll talk to you in a few weeks.
Hey, if you enjoyed this podcast, you have to come check out my free weight loss class. It's the 5 steps to lasting weight loss, how hormones impact weight loss, and the truth about lasting weight loss without relying on willpower, workouts, or deprivation. Click the link in the show notes to watch that free class today. And if you are a woman over 35 with 20 to 50 or more pounds to lose, schedule a free weight loss breakthrough session with me after you watch that class, and let's talk about your 20 to 50 or more pound weight loss plan.